And here we are back after a couple months of being absent. Took me a very long time to get back to Firelink Shrine from Blighttown, but we are back now, and let's go rest up at the fire and... Oh, hello. Something has gone very wrong. Here we have, unfortunately, a dingy whole bunch of stuff, a black eye orb, and the apparent corpse of the Firekeeper, who was below the Firelink Shrine. Examine... Indeed dead. Looks just like gone to me, but I'm pretty sure that's how Firekeepers die, and that's not just a bit of laziness on the modeler's part. Well, whatever. So, and with the Firekeeper gone, so is the fire itself. Firekeeper is absent, cannot light bonfire, so we won't be healing here, but we will talk to this guy.
Did you ring the second bell? That is incredible, I must say. But now, we have a new problem. It's noisy, it snores, and its breath is lethal. This is no laughing matter, I tell you.
So something else or someone else has managed to show up in Firelink Shrine. They're going to go over randomly this way and hope that it's over here. Maybe it's Laurentius. No, he seems okay. So, but what's happening over here where we were hearing the snoring? We have this creature here. Weird serpent-like snake thing with a long face. What's going on? Why the long face?
Ah, hello. Was it you who rang the bell of awakening? I am the primordial serpent, King Seeker Frampt, close friend of the great Lord Gwyn, chosen undead, who has rung the bell of awakening. I wish to elucidate your fate. Do you seek such enlightenment?
Sure, I guess I'd like to know what the hell I'm doing here.
Very well. Then I am pleased to share. Chosen undead, your fate is to succeed the great Lord Gwyn, so that you may link the fire, cast away the dark, and undo the curse of the undead. To this end, you must visit Anor Londo and acquire the Lord Vessel.
Now, how does this guy talk clearly without any lips?
I am pleased to see you well. Is it something urgent?
Okay, so Frampt serves a few functions here. One thing you can do is feed him items, which is essentially selling your items, because he chews them up and spits out souls for you. So we finally have a purpose for these dung pies. You can throw those away and get some souls in return. You can also do the same with that copper coin, which I believe is otherwise useless in the game. So you can sell him things and get souls back for it. You can also feed him titanite chunks, and he will chew them up into smaller titanite chunks, which can be useful if you're trying to forge something and you don't have the right size shard.
Farewell, chosen undead. I remain here and await thee.
Okay, so we've got our new objective, which is to play with the camera and look at the backside of King Seeker Frampt. Looks like it's serpents all the way down. So, let's get out of here, and we need to find a proper bonfire, so I nominate the one in the Undead Parish. So I'm going to go over and take the elevator there real quick. And over here, our friend Petrus is still hanging around, kind of mournful.
Your Highness, where have you gone? I am entirely to blame for this. Oh, woe is me. I am unworthy, deathly so.
Yeah, you pretty much suck. So you got any miracles for us? Or are you just going to keep moping all day?
Oh, I'm sorry. Miracles, was it? Sometimes I lose myself. Pay me no mind.
Honestly, I'm not sure why I'm checking this guy for miracles. I don't really intend to play the priest type. All he's got are the miracles and the talismans. So, no, forget that. I am going to do a quick jump cut to the Undead Parish, because you guys all know how to get there by now. So, I'll see you in a second. And here I am again. Back over here at the Undead Parish bonfire, going to rest myself up next to this other phantom dude. I'm gonna give myself a level up. I have enough souls for it. So in this case, I think I'm gonna go with endurance, because I want to hold heavier things. And stamina is always a good thing to have too. I do need to pump up my dexterity still, and probably my strength. I think I'm going to regret having low strength a little bit later in this episode. So after a quick, pointless visit to Andre, which none of you are going to see, we are going to start exploring the next area. This locked gate that had been locked for so long is now unlocked, and we can venture in and die. This is Sen's Fortress, which is probably one of the two more infamous regions in the game. I guess every region's kind of infamous, but this was one of those things that was really infamous before the game was actually out, because it just looked hilariously, devilishly mean. And it turns out that it still is. Or maybe I'm just really terrible at this game. We are Sen's Fortress. The first thing we do is walk forward and attract some snake guards. Then run forward over what turns out to be a trapped pressure plate. And one of those snake guys is being shot in the back by 3 arrows activated by that trap plate. So if you walk in unexpectedly into Sen's Fortress, the first thing you're going to do is get 3 arrows to the chest, which will probably come close to killing you. Because that's just sort of the game this is, They just want you to make sure that if you enter here, you're probably going to die. And goodness knows that I certainly die a fair amount in this video. Mostly because I'm trying to show off different areas and stuff, and I'm stupid. The first time I played this, I actually managed to make it almost all the way to the top without dying, but there was one set of traps that kept tripping me up because I didn't realize exactly what was going on. So here is the thing that Sen's Fortress is most famous for: the gigantic swinging axe blades of death. And pots to smash, but more importantly, giant swinging axe blades of death. So you're gonna have a lot of this, really narrow bridges with these axes trying to swing you and push you off. Like, they don't just stab you, they will shove you down to your death, and it will usually end you. Though sometimes you'll get lucky and land on a region that does not actually end you. This guy, and of course you're fighting enemies on a narrow bridge, why wouldn't you be? And of course somebody's shooting electricity at you because this is Sen's Fortress, and screw you. So let's make ourselves an Estus, smash some more pots. You should know by now that I have a pot smashing compulsion, so if you're still surprised by me doing that, please stop being surprised. So up here, we've got another narrow bridge with more axes and the source of the electricity from earlier. There are 2 main enemies in Sen's Fortress. One of them is the snake guard thing that we saw earlier, and another one is this guy. This guy, I've heard it referred to as a girl as well, which it certainly might be. But yeah, by now we should have a good enough sword that we can take these guys out without much trouble. And here's some arrows. But as far as casting just soul arrows goes, you can usually do that on the electricity demons because they don't have shields, but the snake guards, they tend to shield more, and so you get less bang for your buck with regards to the soul arrows. Down there we can see snake guard just chilling, sort of protecting that wall, I guess. Here's another snake guard, and there goes another snake guard. This is one of my favorite ways to dispatch enemies in Sen's Fortress, because you've got this slope thing here with rolling boulders, and they don't have enough common sense to get out of the way. So you just wait long enough, and there we go. A couple boulders will mow them down and seriously deplete their health for you, which makes your job a little bit easier. But you do have the problem of actually avoiding these boulders, so a bit of a trade-off there. But it does help out taking care of some of these enemies, and it's really fun to watch this enemy being bowled over. I can stop talking about that now, I guess. So, turn off this enemy real quick, and down it goes. Oh, and these guys can also poison you, by the way, as you might notice by my poison counter there. So, this up here is a bit of an optional area. You don't actually need to go here, but you can find in this chest, just being careful about the chest, you can find a ring of steel protection, which increases your physical defense to physical attacks. And somebody down there is getting bouldered as well, it looks like. There must be more enemies down in that general region. So over here, if you drop off to the left, you'll see a treasure down here. There's a very useful sword here. It's called the Shotel. And it is basically a sword that's made in a gigantic curve. If you use it right, you can use it to get around shields. So especially if you're fighting enemies online, just other players, and they just keep shielding all the time. The shuttle will definitely help with that and allow you to put in more damage than you previously could. Speaking of damage, why am I so bad at this game? Taking on two serpent swordsmen here. Sure, that's a good name. Well, these guys usually are not here, so I was not prepared for this. So this is a bit of a surprise to me to find these guys here. But I seem to be handling it okay. Just one Estus Flask later, and these guys are down. And over here, it looks like they were trying to bother an old friend of ours. The guy who we saw earlier at the gate to Sen's fortress. What's going on, Onion Bro?
Oh ho! Ah, where did you come from? Splendid news, I tell you. Ah, so you see my plight. Yes, indeed. I've run up against a wall, or a ball, to be precise. I'm afraid I'm a bit too tough to be outrunning those things. So here I sit in quite a pickle, but who knows? Perhaps we'll have another development.
So yeah, that's basically this guy's shtick. He's the most helpless hero in the game, or one of them at least. So we'll just sort of leave him here, and we do need to find a way to take care of these boulders. So I get a feeling the problem will kind of solve itself. So we just run our ways up here. Ooh, can I make it to the second door? No, I'm not going to make it to the second door. Man, I really look like a Assassin's Creed character right now. I just noticed with that hood and my armor and such. That wasn't even intentional. Okay, so traverse the white light, proceed to the next area. What's in here? Some more torture stuff. What exactly went on in Sen's fortress? Looks like... Oh, there's chains everywhere, but there's also suits of armor everywhere. I'm not sure what the chains were for. Chains always make me think that there was prison going on in here. If prison was happening. Prison occurred. But then you have the suits of armor all over the place, and it seems more like an armory. Or maybe like a barracks. I don't even know. Anyhow, let's try and fail to get these arrows to shoot this guy in the back. So I guess our sword will have to do the trick for now. This is the first time I've actually tried to manipulate the traps to take out enemies. Right away, I don't have very much success. I do end up doing much better with that later, but unfortunately most of it ends up being off camera. So I get to look like a complete idiot for most of this video, I guess. Over here, can't just run out here. You need to wait for that, or else that will crush you pretty bad. Anyway, if you run up this way, you can roll over onto this and... Or no, maybe you will just fall down and die. So I'm going to try rolling up. Oh god, no! Okay, so that's the first death of the video. Crushed by a boulder. Okay, so we're back, and let's try this again. Recover our old stuff. Now I'm even higher up, and god damn it! Did it a second time. It sucks. Hate this stupid fortress. Okay, so instead of trying to run up, I try to run down, and I get crushed by a boulder anyway. So there's that, I guess. Alright, this time for real. Let's go up even higher and actually roll onto this stupid wooden platform. There we go. So this is one area that's easy to miss if you're playing through this game. So I did not find it for a little while. Over here we have the large soul of a proud knight. I need to use up my soul items sooner or later. Over here is one way. You can drop down there and get an item, but I'm not going to do that quite yet because there isn't a way back up. So instead I'm going to go in this other direction. Yes, I am. Actually get going, you stupid character. And over here, why am I going so slow? Over here we find some more stairs. Where do these stairs go, right? They go up. And in here we have item pickups. There's actually several items. We get the Black Sorcerer set, which I might change into a bit later, and a sorcery called Hush, which makes you much quieter, and so enemies don't notice. We also open up this door, which makes you apparently short hop, and creates a bit of a shortcut a little further into the fortress, not a whole lot. But I'm not going to go that way yet because there's an item I need to pick up, and I need to get my souls back. So I need to go back the other way. We're going to try that other path with the broken jail cell bars that we didn't try earlier. past this broken wall. And down here, have a little bit of a rough landing. Right now we're actually above the first major room in Sen's Fortress, where you have the swinging blades and the narrow bridge. So running forward, you can see the item that we're looking for is over in the corner here. And go over there. What is it? Pick it up. Why is it so far away? I didn't plan out this video. And why am... Just pick it up! What was I doing? Okay, so we picked up the Slumbering Dragon Crest Ring, which is a bunch like the Sorcery Hush. It will make you quieter. You can walk around a bit more easily without distracting folks. And so, try to get back up there, but there's no way that I know of, or at least if there was a ladder, I didn't see it. So instead, it looks like we're going to have to jump down, and here I end up being a little bit indecisive about where to jump down. Over there, I can actually see ground, which is comforting. Over here, not so much. Oh, that guy will find ground eventually. So I could go over this way with the narrow bridge and the swinging thing, or in the other direction, and I don't even know where I'm going to land there. So I decide that I'm going to make a break for it and try running in this direction. Geronimo, god damn it! I am the worst at this game. Okay, I'm still alive. No, I'm not. Alright, so there goes 8 humanity and, I don't know, about 16,000 souls. But after you play this game enough, you just sort of grow numb to it. On my main account, where I'm playing through the DLC, I recently lost like 100,000 souls and 16 humanity or something like that. It's just something that happens, and you just eventually you stop caring as much. It's just like, you know, like the victim of a perpetual tragedy. I don't know. So what I'm doing right here is I'm waiting for these boulders to fill up this hole. And no, I don't believe there's anything down that ladder. So there, you can see they're slowly plugging the hole up. I think I only need 2 more boulders. What's going to happen? This thing comes down, and the hole right now is totally full, and things are able to cross over it. So in this case, what's going to happen when the next boulder comes down? We're going to find out in just a second. Crashes right through the wall. Creates a new area for us to look through. And over here we have a really handy ring, which is the covetous gold serpent ring. Avoid a boulder there. We're going to take off our ring of the evil eye and replace it with the gold serpent ring. The covetous gold serpent ring increases the item drop rate by about 200. So it makes it easier to get rare items from enemies, like if you're fighting a Black Knight. And over here we have a seemingly innocuous chest, but this chest is actually not so innocuous as this message warns us. This is our first encounter with a mimic. If you try and open up a chest that is actually a mimic, the chest will eat you. And so there are ways of telling between a chest and a mimic. Mostly it is the chain to the right. If the chain sort of curves down towards you and then back up in a U shape, it is a normal chest. If the thing sort of goes off to the right a bit but then eventually ends up pointing down towards you, that chest is a mimic, and so you need to stab it. And it's good to get familiar with it as soon as you can, because we're going to be seeing a lot more mimics when we get to the next region of the game. Here, this elevator is a trap. If you don't get off it right away, it will push you upwards into those spikes, which my standard definition capture is not going to show us. So we go up here, exit this little prison region, and we are back where we were before when we opened up this little shortcut. And I went back down to get the Slumbering Dragon Crest Ring, and I ended up getting killed. So, if we climb up this set of stairs here, we can see a series of working gears, and we've reached the area of the fortress where boulders are being pushed. You can see, boom, mechanism right there sends off that boulder to crush somebody. So we're going to push it over here and use these boulders for our own nefarious purposes. Rolls down this way, crushes some poor soul down there. If you remember that one serpent guard that was just chilling against the wall, that is the wall. or that was the wall. That still is the serpent, though it's not going to be the serpent for long. 4 boulders should end up taking out the serpent, which I can just imagine that serpent just hates his life right now. It's like, Jesus God, why am I not moving from this spot? Why can't I just die? Why can't I die? Now he's dead. So there goes that serpent there. And so now we're going to take these boulders and point them someplace a little more harmless. Switch your controls where the boulders go. Wherever the switch pushes, the boulders are being pushed the opposite way. So now they're being pushed out a hole to the outside where they just fall down and don't do anything. So instead we're going to go through this region, offset this trap, which will shoot a number of arrows at us in succession. So once again, always be careful about the floor when you're in Sen's Fortress, because there are plenty of these. What am I doing? I don't know why exactly I was moving so slow in certain areas of this fortress. I think it's because I was trying to watch Game Grumps at the same time. So over there we get a bit of light through that window. Usually there's a praise the sun message there. I don't know why there still isn't. And here we've got 4 axes in a row. And you just need to run past as fast as you can, and you'll make it past. And then we have some more serpent guards. It's been a little bit since we saw one of these guys. So we're going to take it out real quick. And by take it out real quick, I mean that I'm really bad at efficiently dispatching enemies. There we go. There's our backstab. That should finish it off. Yep, he's gone. And over here up these stairs, we have another lightning enemy, which we're going to dispatch with a couple of soul arrows. And that takes care of that. So over here, what was this guy guarding? It appears to be a hole. I have never gone down that hole because I assume it kills me, and I would rather not prove myself right in that regard. So I guess if it's a controlled death and I know how to get back there, it should be okay, but I'm not going to do that on camera, because no. So here's another serpent guard, and I do not fire soul arrows fast enough, so let's see how fast we can take this guy out. There we go, he's dead. And drink a Mountain Dew. Over here, what is he protecting? It's a corpse, and this corpse has on hand 2 large Titanite shards. He died clasping those Titanite shards in his hand as if his life depended on them. It turns out they didn't help much. So with these guys gone and ragdolling all over the place, we're going to head up these stairs to the next narrow bridge. Up the stairs, around the corner, and here we go. Over there we have 4 more axes, but it's kind of deceptive. Also, we have an enemy who's going to be shooting lightning at us throughout. So this isn't really a group of 4 axes in a row, and that's what killed me a whole lot when I first did the fortress. It's a group of 2 and 2. So if you are over 25% of your maximum load, you won't be able to run past all of them in a single go. You'll want to run past the first 2, and then the second 2 after they swing again. If you do have less than 25% load and you're light enough, you should be able to run past all of them at once, or at least my friend tells me so, but I've never been able to do that. And that is the only place where I died my first time in Sen's Fortress, much to my eternal shame. So over here we have a double trap that can reset itself over and over. So we've got another bit of white light here, and we're finally outside again. We're getting closer to the top of the fortress. Soon we will fight a gigantic womp and get the power star. But first we're going to head down this set of stairs here and see what the dealio is. Over here there's nothing. Just double check. Yep, there's nothing. So we're going to go over this way, and a little ring of white light appeared, which means that somebody in another game cast a miracle. And if I were to cast a specific miracle in this region, I would get a bit of a power boost, because somebody else did that there, which is one of the cool ways that these games interact. So we're taking out one of these Baldur Knights. Give him a quick backstab. That should take care of it. Yeah, that took care of it. Just slice and a backstab, and that'll do it. So down here, what's going on? More nothing. Over this way, we're actually going to have another Baldur Knight to take care of real quick. And think I used to be really afraid of these guys back in the Undead Parish. They used to be able to severely mess you up. Now all it takes is a couple of slices and down they go. It's very cool going back to these older regions and seeing how much you kick ass compared to what you did before. And here we pick up a flame stone plate ring, which will protect me from flame, make me receive a bit less damage. It would have been smart of me to put that on going into this region, but I have not proven myself to be smart over the course of this LP, so why should I start now? So climbing up these stairs here, what's going to happen? We're coming to a region with some black spots, and there's that guy heaving a gigantic thing above his head. Turns out that thing is a bomb. So yep, just when you thought you were in the clear, some dude starts throwing gigantic bombs at you. So you gotta make it through this section pretty quick or else you're gonna get bombed. So over here, large soul of a brave warrior, and if you drop down in this region, you will find the only fireplace, the only bonfire in Sen's Fortress, at least that I know of. So it's very nice to have this here, because otherwise you're starting at the very bottom of the fortress, and we haven't unlocked the shortcut yet. So I don't have enough souls to level up because I went ahead and died, so I'm just going to repair my stuff instead. Maybe I should have thought about switching to the black sorcerer stuff. I don't know how well that defends. I'm going to take a look at it in the next episode. So back up here, get a quick shortcut back to the outside if you stay at that bonfire. So definitely do that as soon as you get up here. It's very handy, and it saves you a lot of headache because you don't have to run past those swinging axes anymore. So up here, what do we got? We've got 2 large Titanite shards, and the way to the boss is to the left, but we're going to go to the right instead because there are a bunch of extra areas in Sen's Fortress that you can explore that will give you extra stuff. So let's take on this Knight of Baronique over here. The Tower Knight, I guess. He's shrunk down a bit since Demon Souls, but 4 Great Soul arrows will do him in, even with that shield up, so he's not much of a problem. Pick up the item, you get a large Titanite shard. And over here, there's a ladder that lets you continue on even further. So we're gonna give this a slide down. I'm not sure what else we would do. We would climb down, but that'd be really stupid. Why'd you even bring it up? And over here up these stairs, we're going to fight another enemy, which is actually a unique enemy in this game that doesn't get a whole lot of attention story-wise, but he is like an actual character, apparently. This is Knight Ricard, and he's going to spend his time shooting these arrows at us. If we get close enough, he takes out his sword to actually fight us, but I don't think he's going to this time. Oh, he tried to roll, that's something. So I take a couple of arrows to the face, but managed to get him in the end. And he drops an item, Ricard's Rapier, which I don't think I ever use. I don't know, maybe I'm just not the right type, but it never seemed like the ideal weapon for me. So I'm a guy who swings around a Black Knight halberd, so I don't know. And here we have 2 chests for our troubles. We have in one of them a rare Ring of Sacrifice, and in here we have a Divine Blessing. The rare Ring of Sacrifice is pretty useful because, like a normal Ring of Sacrifice, if you get killed when you're wearing it, it breaks, but you don't lose your souls or your humanity or anything. A rare Ring of Sacrifice, if you die while wearing it, you will get all those things, but you will also get uncursed, or remove any other status effects that might be existing still. So that is handy to have in certain areas of the game, like the depths maybe, or certain parts of the Great Hollow, or especially the Crystal Cave, I guess. So, backtracking a little bit, managed to talk right up to the point where I backtracked to, which is good. Nope, not that way. We are back in the region where bombs are being thrown at us, so we need to be careful of any black marks on the ground. So up these stairs, we have a narrow bridge, and there's a gap over to the left that we actually can jump across, and there's something important over there that we need to get. So I'm going to back up for a little bit. Alright, now I can get a running start so I can get myself jumped across. Are you goddamn kidding me? Are you serious? Oh, hell. So yeah, that is another region actually where bombs can be thrown at you, and it's certainly not clear at all because there are no bomb marks there. But yes, the guy will throw bombs at you, apparently perfectly comically timed bombs at that, so yeah, be very careful when you're jumping over to this place. It might be better just to immediately run down the bridge and take a quick left and jump immediately. So, there I've made my way across, and now I am in another region. There's a table here. People sat down. And this
Ah, what? What? Who are you? Ah, another undead, eh? I took on Sen's fortress alone, but I'm no different from those vile creatures. I was driven by conceit. Ah, you think you're different? That you can handle it? Yes, I remember that feeling. For I was the same. So, let me help you out. With your soul searching.
Yeah, we have a random merchant at the top of Sen's fortress. He sells a couple things, some green titanite shards, which will be nice, because we are sorcerers and we like to magic up our stuff. Though it might be cheaper just to go farming for it in the Blighttown swamp, but that does take a while. He also sells a few armor sets, which can be useful if you're playing a high strength build.
Nothing at all? Fine then. Rush in like a naked babe and be skinned alive.
Trust me, I've been skinned alive a few times already. You get used to it. So here we have a long winding staircase, which is long and it winds. But down at the bottom is something very important, so we do need to go down this way. Gee, this thing's always longer than I remember. Do. Knock, knock. Who's there? Batman. Batman who? Oh, here we go. So, here's another electric enemy down here, but these guys are easily dispatched now. Well, I certainly hope that we have enough defense just to not killed by them automatically. And here we have the cage key. This will open 2 cages in particular, very handy cages. So we're going to see which ones those are after we go back up the staircase of forever. And I can't believe I didn't edit this out. Probably only because it takes a few seconds, but it feels like forever when I'm sitting down and actually voicing over this part of the game. Maybe I'm impatient. Maybe it's just because I should actually be packing to go home and I'm trying to get this finished. Oh boy, I'm irresponsible. Anyhow, let's give ourselves a running jump and jump back over, not fall down. If you do go down that way, there is another item to pick up, but I'm not sure of a way to really safely get down there, at least not off the top of my head. So over this way, we have another Balder Knight, and really, I always fool myself into thinking that he is protecting something of actual value. It turns out he's not. Spoiler warning, there's nothing over there. Jeez. No, you son of a bitch! Ah, boy. Yeah, this is a long and unnecessary fight. Maybe I should tell some more jokes and not finish them. Oh, here's a Titanite shard. And at the end of this corridor, unless there's something I'm missing, there is actually nothing here. It's a red herring of sorts. I don't know if I could get somebody to blow up this wall or something, but it's certainly not a fake wall. So maybe there is a ladder that I'm missing over there and I'm totally blind. At this point, I don't really care. I am going to go forth and fight the enemy. Actually, not quite. There are a couple things that you need to do here. You remember the cage key that we got 2 minutes ago, right? This is one of the cages that it opens. And if you've played Demon Souls, the Tower of Latria, you will have an idea of what this is. This is an elevator. And it will take you to the beginning of the fortress, or very close to it. So I'm going to go down and activate this elevator quick. And here we are at the beginning bridge with that snake enemy. And I actually am going to stay down here for a minute because there is something else that we need to do. First I'm going to kill this dude. Come on. Bring it on, dude. And at some point he's going to... There we go. Just knock himself right off the ledge. And an electric enemy there who's going to bother us, but it's not going to bother us because we're going to jump cut up to this area. Remember when I was pushing these boulders down this wall? down this hill and it crushed the wall and an enemy down there. So yeah, it turns out the wall is back because I went ahead and died because I'm terrible at this game. So we're gonna roll a few more boulders down there. This one enemy down there is just getting crushed by a boulder. Barely picks himself up, taking inventory of all his broken bones, when suddenly there's another boulder. It's just in complete misery right now. God, nobody told me there'd be so many boulders. Yep, that's the last boulder for him, so he is taken out. I probably could have just run down there and killed him myself, but this way is more fun. So, push this thing back. And the boulders are now being pushed safely away. So let's go down and see what exactly this wall opened up. Head down the slope. And you'll remember this area here. Snake guard used to be right there, and now he is a pancake. And we have another sort of jail-like region with these taunting cells, and in here is an actual guy who is a guy.
You seem quite lucid. A rare thing in these times. I am Logan. I'm a bit cooped up, as you can see. I have a bright idea. Suppose you set me free. I'm old and empty-handed, but I could repay you with knowledge and sorcery. This place is melting my mind. The inactivity is repressive.
I suppose we could see our way to letting this guy out. He seems like a nice chap. So the door open.
Oh, heavens! Thank you. I'm saved, and I'd love to resume my travels, but I must log a few things first, and I owe you a favor. I will return to Firelink Shrine. Speak with me there, so that I may impart my sorcery.
We've heard of this character before. That's Big Hat Logan, who's mentioned by the crestfallen soldier near the beginning of the Firelink Shrine. Cage Key also opens up this, which gives us the soul of a hero, which gives us a lot of souls. But yeah, Big Hat Logan is a very powerful sorcerer, probably the most powerful in the game, and he teaches us some really handy spells, one of which we're probably going to take to the next part of the game after we defeat this boss. So it's very important to let him out, and once you do, you can find him at Firelink Shrine, and he will teach you some nice spells. Some that you may already have, and you might want another one of, but another one in particular I'm thinking of is going to be really nice because it does a lot of damage, even though there isn't a whole lot of uses. So I've warped ourselves back up here to where the cage was, and this time we really are close to fighting the boss of Zen's Fortress. I believe we've explored every nook and cranny of the place, except for one nook which is particularly deadly that I'm not going to tackle until a little later, because there's like 4 Titanite demons down there, and I don't want to deal with that. So, over here around that corner is another bomb area, so you want to be careful about that. Yep, you can see that bomb going off right there on the bridge. So, a couple of swipes will take care of this archer here. He's not very hardy, I guess the word is. Gives us a Titanite shard, though. Some pots over here have to die. That fog door leads us to the boss. We're not going to go there yet, but we are going to take a look at him from this bridge. It's that giant statue guy over there. He will be our enemy. Over here, if I were actually alive and capable of doing any good in this game, in this corner we would find a summon sign for Iron Tarkus, who is just a total bamf, really. You can see several videos online where Tarkus kills the Iron Golem all by himself. So he's a really nice NPC to have, and if you're having trouble with the Iron Golem, this guy will solve your problems. In the meantime, we have this bomb dude. This bomb giant, I don't know if he has a name or what that name might be. So, this guy, it is important to take out as a general rule, and I fire a solar arrow for some reason. It's good to take out as a general rule because he does overlook the boss arena and he can throw bombs at you. You can also throw bombs at the boss itself and do some heavy damage to it, but that might take skill that you might not have. Speaking of not having skill. But yeah, it's generally safer to just go ahead and kill this guy right away, and so you don't have to worry about that. And he blew up a bomb, which makes us... There we go. So whenever he blows up a bomb around here, he sort of goes down on his hands and knees, which is a good opportunity to attack him. So he gives us a Titanite chunk for that, and a good handful of souls. And so, with that taken care of, we're going back down here, and we're finally going to take on the boss of Sen's Fortress. Traverse the white light. And we're going to take out our magic wand, because we're going to start off by firing some soul arrows, because they do the most damage. So the first thing he's going to do is fire his axe in that direction, but it always hits right there and pretty much never hits you. So this is the Iron Golem. Right now your most damaging attack is going to be your Great Soul Arrow. Heavy Soul Arrows will also do a pretty good job, but they can be slow. You can see that's my sword there, doing about 50 damage to him, which isn't a whole lot, so it's best to get his damage low as fast as you can, because he's a boss and that's what you do to bosses. So yeah, it's good to fire off all of your Great Soul Arrows, however many you have at that point. I should have had 20, but instead I had 12 because I was misusing them. But yeah, the Iron Golem, he is a very slow character, so he telegraphs pretty much everything he does. So if you have sufficient reflexes and know when it is safe to dodge to the right, it almost always is, it should be an easy enough encounter for you. Still have a few soul arrows left, but yeah, he always takes forever to wind up with his axe attacks. So, even so, I somehow managed to get hit by it. But we've already established that I'm really bad at this game, so that shouldn't surprise anybody by now. But yeah, he does nothing quickly, which is really what makes this boss so easy. Though, if he does get his hands on you, like literally he could get his hands on you just and grab you, he will like hurl you and he might throw you off the ledge. So your worst enemy in this boss is going to be the ledge, though in some circumstances it could also be your best friend. It sort of depends. But yeah, it's easy to fall off the side, so make sure that you are staying in the center of the arena and don't go onto the bridge, especially because you're going to need to be dodging left and right, and you can't do that on a bridge. But yeah, some skilled players, especially speedrunners, are able to make this guy fall off the ledge fairly reliably. I've certainly done that. But yeah, it's a good... the best place you're going to want to stay here is right around his feet, especially when the soul arrows run out, so you can just go ahead and keep hacking away at his feet. But you want to be careful, you have to keep moving around, especially when he's done attacking, because he will eventually just reach down below his legs and grab you and throw you. But for now, we have managed to stun him a bit, and he's just sort of standing there woozy. And if you do enough damage to him in this period, you can make him fall down, and I failed to do so. I'm trying to switch to the lightning spear here, but that doesn't go too well for a couple of reasons. First of all, I don't have the strength to wield it. And second of all, I left my menu open, which meant that I just barely was able to dodge. I just noticed at the last second that that thing was actually open. And had I not noticed, I probably would have gotten myself killed or something. Yeah, we're nearly done with the Iron Golem. Didn't provide us with too much of a challenge. Come on, just a few hacks left. And there we go, down he goes. Not a very difficult boss, but we're going to cheer anyway. He can take a little while, especially if you haven't been buffing your strength like I haven't. Our magic sword only does so much. The spells are easily the best, of course, or at least the Great Soul Arrow is. The Soul Arrow itself does about as much damage as a sword swipe, and it takes longer, so only do it if you really have a fancy for keeping your distance. Anyway, here we have the Ring of Light that we must examine, and here I'm debating whether or not to examine it or to go back for something else, but forget it, I'm going to examine it. And here we are in Anorlando, the coolest and also the most torturous region of the game, but we're not going to explore it now. I'm going to go on Christmas break in a couple of hours, and I don't know when the next video will be up, but hopefully not too long from now. So I'll see you guys when I see you.